Just got an email from corporate.
So, welcome to my world for 21 days. Currently in Guangzhou, you have to quarantine for 21 days before you can go out into the community. So, in this video, I'm going to tell you what it's like to quarantine in China in 2021, how you can survive in one room for 21 days. I'll give you a tour of the room, and also towards the end of the video, I'm going to give you some tips for if you need to quarantine here in China or anywhere else in the world. So let's start with the room tour. Alright, so I'm going to start with the front door as any good tour would, and this is where I interact with the outside world. So I collect my meals from here, I get tested here, I get temperature checks here. Now over here we've got the air conditioning controls. I've got it on 24. It's a really hot day today here in Guangzhou. Now down here I've got my bin and this yellow biohazard waste bag that we have to use to dispose of all our garbage with to protect the people that work here in the quarantine hotel, to keep them safe and healthy. I've got my suitcase just down here. I've taken out the clothes that I want to wear. I put everything else in this big closet here. So moving across, we've got a nice big mirror. Hey everybody. And then here we go, we have the toilet. So it is a very big room. It's its own separate room, which is good because it's a separate space. It breaks up the room a little bit, and I can escape here when nature calls. So moving across here, we have the shower room. Now the shower room is nice and spacious. It's big. We've got a rain shower up there, so it's also just nice, you know, to get in there and close the door. We've got a nice big window as well, which is frosted, so that's great. I can shower in privacy, which is always a good thing. Now over here we've got the wash basin, and I've got some laundry detergent because I wash my clothes here in this sink. Over here I've got some of my toiletries. These were the toiletries that were provided by the hotel. I've obviously brought some of my own as well. Now moving back over here, I've got my own little convenience store, if you will. I'm a big fan of Diet Cola. I don't have a preference between Coke or Pepsi, so I make sure I've got a bit of both on hand. Here, this is my breakfast from this morning. I wasn't really hungry, I just had some fruit, so I've left it there just in case I get a little bit peckish later on. So firstly, I think this space is really good. It breaks up the room. It just means that I can escape out here if I'm feeling at all claustrophobic in the hotel room. So let's now move on to the room itself, and I'm going to zoom out a little bit so you can get a feel of the room. By the way, while I've got you here, I had a look at my analytics the other day, and I noticed that a lot of the people watching my videos aren't subscribed. So if you're watching this video and you're enjoying it and you're not subscribed, please consider subscribing. It would be a massive help. So I really like this color scheme. I like how it's designed. I like the furniture. It's all simple but modern and clean at the same time. Now, so over here we've got a nice big bed. I'm super happy because it's soft. I love soft beds. And one thing about the bed is I make sure that I only get in bed if I'm going to sleep, because I want to train my brain and make sure that it knows that when I get in bed, it's for sleep. So I don't scroll through social media, I don't watch TV in bed. I get in, I go to sleep, I wake up and I get out. Now over here at the bedside table, I brought my HomePod. It's good to have Siri in the room with me because at least I can talk to her and she responds. Hey Siri, what's the weather like?
It's currently clear and 35 degrees. The air quality is considered good at 70. Temperatures are heading down from 35 degrees to 29 tonight.
That sounds good. Also above the bed, you can see this beautiful mural. I love it. I just think it looks great. I love these artistic lights that hang down from the ceiling. It looks really nice at night. If you've watched one of my recent vlogs, you will have seen it. This is a recent addition to my room. It's an emergency button, so they said if I need help urgently, I can just press that and someone will be up ASAP. Now moving over, this is sort of the living area. I'll move back a little bit because I want to show you that couch over there was originally here against this wall, but I moved it over there because I thought it made more sense being there. And that bedside table, it was originally over here next to the bed, but I moved it under the table so that I could put my PlayStation and my PlayStation games on it. So this is just a nice general area, but for at least 3 or 4 hours a day, I spend my time on this little baby. If you're following my Twitter, you will have seen my Xiaomi treadmill. I've been trying to do at least 15 kilometers per day or 20,000 steps. It's just really good. It makes me feel good exercising, and I can binge watch TV shows and movies while I'm moving my body. Alright, so if we come closer, you can see here that I've come well prepared. I've got a whole lot of games. As I said, my computer is connected up to the TV with an HDMI cable, and I'm using this wireless mouse and keyboard. So I can sit in this chair and I can type away and get on the internet and just use the computer as I normally would. Now over here, this is probably the best feature of the room for me. And you might be wondering what's so special about a window. Well, I'll tell you, I can open it. Okay, so this is really important because when I was in Sydney, I couldn't open the window in my room, and the room just got really stuffy really quickly, and I felt claustrophobic. So I'm really happy that this window can open, even if I can just open it a little bit just to let some fresh air in, so that's really good. And also, I've got a decent view. It's nothing special, but over there you can actually see Chimelong and a little bit of a roller coaster. So it's like dangling a carrot in front of me because I really want to get out and go to Chimelong and have some fun. Now over here, I've got my little workstation set up. I make sure to only sit down here and use my iPad if I'm doing some work, because I really just want to designate different zones in the room so that I know if I'm sitting here, I'm doing some work. If I'm, sitting over here on the sofa, it means I'm relaxing, watching TV. I usually lie down in the afternoon. And as I said, if I'm in bed, then it's for sleeping. Now, here, I'll talk about this a little bit more later, but this has been a godsend. So I ordered this. It's a mini air purifier. It works great. It arrived in 1 day. The room was feeling a little bit stuffy, so I ordered that, and I'm feeling much more comfortable. So, but as you can see, the room is pretty spacious. It's really comfortable. It's clean. It's designed well, and it just feels really homey. So I'm pretty happy here. And it's 21 days, so it's a long time to be in this room. Alright, so what is it like to quarantine here in China for 21 days? Well, so far the time has really flown by. Originally I thought 3 weeks was way too long. I thought I'd get bored really easily, but I've managed to enjoy my time, which is strange to think because, I never imagined that I would actually enjoy quarantine, but I have. There are a few reasons for that. So first, ordinarily I like my alone time. I like being by myself. I like taking things easy so I can collect my thoughts, but also I like to have time to just do things that you ordinarily wouldn't get to do. So I've been doing a lot of running or I should say jogging on the treadmill. Also a lot of walking on the treadmill, which has been good. I do about 3 to 4 hours per day, which I ordinarily wouldn't get to do. So that's been really good. I've also been getting a lot of great sleep. So I average around 8 to 9 hours each night, which is really good. I'm feeling really healthy. Also, it's just been good to, you know, catch up on all those TV shows and movies that I've wanted to watch for ages, but just haven't had the chance. It's also good not worrying about food. You get food delivered 3 times a day, and it's Chinese food, and I was missing Chinese food while I was back in Australia, so that's good as well. Now, as to what it's like to quarantine in China, every day I have a particular routine. So I'll wake up in the morning, I'll jump on the treadmill, and then I'll have breakfast. They usually deliver breakfast at around 8 o'clock in the morning. Sometimes they knock on the door, sometimes they don't, so you've got to check. But they usually do knock on the door. Also, every single day I get my temperature tested, and every other day I take a COVID test. And those COVID tests, oh, they are super uncomfortable. They go right up your nose, and it always brings tears to my eye. So that's probably the least comfortable part of being in hotel quarantine. But apart from that, you know, I'm just left to my own devices most of the day, and I've managed to pass the time well. So now I want to talk about some tips for quarantine. So if you're coming to China, or if you're quarantining anywhere else in the world, here are my tips for you. So I think you should go into quarantine with a goal. Because if you're just going to be lying on the bed all day or watching movies all day, pretty soon you're going to feel pretty average, and you're going to feel like you're wasting your time. So I came in this time with the goal of walking at least 15 kilometers a day, or getting 20,000 steps per day. So I've been making sure that I've reached that goal every single day. It makes me feel like I've accomplished something, and it's just something to look forward to the next day, because I feel good when I'm moving and when I'm exercising. But also, you should bring some things that you enjoy. So obviously you saw that I brought my PS5, and I stocked up on quite a few games while I was in Australia. I thought that I would have more time to play the PS5 and get through a lot more games, which is why I bought quite a few. But so far, I really haven't. I've just been so busy, you know, reading and, you know, running on the treadmill, and with everything else, like making vlogs. So hopefully over the next 2 weeks or so, I'll be able to find some time to just lay down on the couch and play some PlayStation. But also, I think it's important to make mental zones of the place that you are staying in your head. So as I mentioned earlier, the bed is just for sleeping. I don't get in the bed at any other time during the day, because I want my brain to know that when I get in bed, it's time for sleeping. Now in the morning, I usually sit on this chair while I'm having a coffee, while I'm eating my breakfast, and then I'll watch some TV or whatever. Then I'll get on the treadmill. And the sofa over there, I save that for the afternoon. So in the afternoon, after I've finished all my walking and I've finished everything that I need to get done for the day, then I'll have a little lie down on the sofa. And I think that really helps, because it helps to break up the day, and it helps you to have a routine. I've also decided that I'm not going to do anything work-related on my computer that is connected to the television. That is purely just for enjoyment. So I've got my iPad over there on the desk, and obviously I'm back in China, so I'm doing some work online while I'm in hotel quarantine, and if work contacts me and needs me to do something, then I'll go over to the desk and I'll sit at the desk and do the work there. So when I get up from the desk, I know that I'm out of work mode, I'm back into quarantine mode, relaxing, trying to enjoy myself. So that is a big help. Now, also another thing that I found really helpful was, after I got here, I did buy a few things online or got things delivered to my hotel room. The first thing is the air purifier, which I showed you earlier. Now, it's good to have fresh air coming in through the window, but I can only open the window a little bit, and I am a guy. So being in one room for 21 days, obviously the room is going to get a little bit stuffy. You know, I try to keep myself clean, obviously, but if I'm on the treadmill and I'm sweating, the room can feel a little bit stale. So I quickly got myself a little air purifier, and since I've turned that on, I've just felt so much more comfortable. So definitely, if you can, order an air purifier. This one was actually pretty cheap. It was less than 200 renminbi. So I thought that was a good investment for the 21-day period. I also bought myself a massage gun, which has been really good, because if I overdo it on the treadmill and I'm feeling a little bit sore, or if I wake up with a bit of a sore neck, you can't just go out and, you know, get a massage or something like that. So having that massage gun has been a godsend. So those are the two things that I would recommend. Also, I brought a tennis ball with me. Now, you might think that's a weird thing to bring, but, you know, you can have a lot of fun with a tennis ball. You know, you can turn a bin into a makeshift basketball hoop and, you know, try and get the tennis ball in from across the room. But also, a tennis ball is good because if you get any knots or any sort of sore points in your back or your neck, you can lean up against a wall and just, you know, roll the tennis ball over wherever's sore. Also, I just realized that I forgot to tell you why I've folded the doona cover over every day. So basically, in the morning I wake up and I fold the part that I've slept under over, just to air it out a little bit, and then I get some disinfectant and I spray the bed just to keep it fresh, because keep in mind I've got to sleep in here without changing the sheets for 21 days. If you're going into quarantine, definitely get something like this. In Australia it's called Glen 20. It kills viruses and bacteria, but it also freshens the air and just makes the room smell nice. So this is definitely a must-have if you're going into quarantine. Finally, I would suggest that you bring something familiar from home. So, as many of you know, I'm celiac, I can't eat gluten, so I brought some gluten-free snacks with me from Brisbane, and I've got them in the cupboard over there in the kitchen. So, you know, if I'm feeling a bit homesick or I want something a little bit sweeter, I've got some gluten-free cookies and I've got some gluten-free protein bars as well, and it just tastes like home to me. So those are my major tips. Just try to focus on the things that you do have that you wouldn't ordinarily have. So usually I wouldn't have as much time to exercise, walk on the treadmill, or binge watch TV shows and movies. So I'm just trying to focus on that. And lastly, I do want to say that even though for a lot of people quarantine is an uncomfortable experience, I do still feel extremely grateful that I've been able to travel in 2021. I feel extremely privileged that I am in quarantine, because it means that I've been able to travel back and forth between China and Australia. And you know, without the quarantine system in Australia and the quarantine system here in China, I just wouldn't have been able to do that. So if you have any other questions about quarantine that I haven't covered in this video, I'm planning on doing a live stream soon. So stick around for that. Please subscribe to my channel. And also, I'm going to be releasing a vlog soon about my flight back to China from Australia, because that was quite interesting. Flying in 2021 is much different to what it was like before the pandemic. So if you're interested in that, please subscribe, and thank you very much for watching. I'll see you in the next video.